Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Get back again with yet another deck tech, and I hope you've enjoyed the ones I've done on Lord of the Rings this week. This one is taking a little bit of a sidetrack away from the Lord of the Rings because this is a card I've been waiting for Daybreak Games to program in for a while. And you're all here because you've already seen the title of the video, and it's obviously Sidar Jabari of Zhalfir. One white, a blue and black for a 4/3 legendary creature, human knight. And it is the latest commander to have eminence in the title. And the eminence ability is whenever you attack with one or more knights, if Sidar is in the command zone or on the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Sidar themselves has flying and first strike, and when Sidar deals combat damage to a player, return target knight creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I have been waiting a long time for this card to get programmed into MTGO. It was one of the few decks I actually bought from the March of the Machines commander sets, and I've been wanting to play it a long time on MTGO. I love playing it in real life. I haven't actually changed it in real life, but I've changed it significantly for here. So, here we go. Let's have a look. So, as usual, start with the land base. Blue, white and black lands all over the place. Field of the Dead's here just so we can get some creatures in. 4 islands, a few more plains because I'm a little bit white heavy in this deck. 4 or 5 swamps, and then just dual lands all the way through. Unclaimed territory, secluded courtyard are here just to name creature type knight, obviously. The reliquary towers here just in case things get bounced, and Temple of the False God because yeah, Sidar does get a little bit expensive after a while. Ramp wise, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, and Arcane Signet, where we turn Commander Sphere. We'll count that this time, I remember. They're here just to hopefully speed us up and get there quicker. And then we've got a few extra things coming along. So, obviously it's a focus on knights, so it's a kind of a theme deck, but there's a few extra cards in here. So, Condemn, Path to Exile helps control the board. Serum Visions, Brainstorm, whichever one you want. I found Serum Visions first. You can go with Ponder if you want to. I just like the artwork on Serum Visions, but change your 1 mana blue cantrip to get cards to whatever you want it to be. But I like Serum Visions. Falmir Knight is an adventure knight, which is cool because we get to draw a card and lose a life for 3 mana, and then get a 1/1 death touching knight with 1, which, you know, does help with this. It gives a really reasonable blocker, even if you don't play it for the adventure and you just put it down on turn 1 as a blocker. No issue with that. Elixir of Immortality, just so we can shovel all our knights back in if we need to, if you know Sidar keeps getting picked off on a rapid appearance. Expedition map, Renegade map, Traveller's Amulet, just to go and get some of the lands we might need. Obviously basics with these two. Expedition goes and gets us a duel if we need it, or a try for that matter. Excuse me. Then it's on to the 2-drops. Shining Armour, I think we might as well have this in. When it enters the battlefield, you get to put it on a knight and give it vigilance, and it's a quick 3, but you know, you can flash it in for 2 mana, pump one of your knights up, save it in combat. Worthy Knight just gives us some humans, because you know, all knights need squires to look after them. Knight of the White Orchid, land ramp, no other reason for it. Order of the Mirror, just for something a little bit different. I quite like this one from the wonderful March of the Machine set. The transformation's fine. Not the best knight in the world, but the artwork's quite cool, so it's here. Aethercast Knight, because that gives us Exalted when we attack alone. Marshal of Severe helps us with our knights getting bigger, and we get to tap creatures down. Corpse Knight, just to drain life, really, more than anything else. And we have a lot of ways of doing that. And Invasion of New Capenna. We can sacrifice an artifact to a creature. Yeah, I have got no issues with this. Yeah, turn 1 amulet if I've got land, sacking it to do this to deal something. And the Holy Frazzle Cannon's quite interesting because whenever a quick creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and each other creature you control that shares a creature type with it. What a fantastic bit of equipment, and it's only 1 to equip. Okay, getting rid of the 4 off the Invasion of New Capenna can be a little bit difficult, but I'm sure we can get there reasonably quickly. And Metallic Mimic, it becomes a shape-shifting artifact knight that pumps our knights up, so no-brainer, really. Acclaimed Contender enters the battlefield, go and find another knight. If you control another knight, look at the top 5 cards of our library, reveal a knight, an aura, equipment, or legendary artifact, so another knight comes into play. Invasion of Benelon gives our way of pumping our creatures up, and it gives us a knight when it comes into play, which is why it's here. Unbreakable Formation, you all know what it does by now. And then here we go. Ardaline, Resplendent Cathars here. Attacks more human squires to look after our knights. The Tactician, this one you do want to hold on to and tap a couple of creatures down so you can get that nice counter strike. And a flying knight at the end of the day is pretty good. Knight Exemplar makes all our knights indestructible, as well as giving them +1/+1. Paladin on Vec, a bit of pro red, pro black, and first strike, but it's still a knight. Silverblade, it gives both of our creatures that we've paired soul bonded together double strike. Arcane Adaptation. Yep, every single creature that's into, creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types, and the same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Yeah. Human knights that are attacking and, potentially very big because of these two. Yeah, okay, like that plan. Court Hussar, yes, we'll be spending blue and white mana on this to make sure we don't lose the knight. Pact of the Serpent. Choose a creature type. Target player draws X cards and loses X life or X the number of creatures they control of that type. Be careful tapping this and playing this and calling knights if you've got Arcane Adaptation at play and Adeline's tapped a few times. I have lost to that combination already, but the card draw is really useful, hence why it's here. Knight's Charge is one of the enchantments from Throne of the Eldraine that I forgot about, and whenever a knight you attack, when it control attacks, each opponent loses life and you gain a life, so it's not too bad. And then you can sacrifice it, return all the knight creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield if it gets that bad. 8 mana's a lot, I'm not going to argue that, but it does give you a little bit of fun in games. Herald's Horn is going to be choosing knights, so we can cut down the cost of our knights. Icon of Ancestry will be knights to make them bigger. Urza's Incubator will be knights to make them cheaper. Crane, Pride of Femere, make sure all the creatures with first strike have double strike, which is quite cool. Valiant Knight gives all of our knights +1/+1, apart from itself, obviously, and then we can pump 5 mana into it to make it give everything double strike. Wrath of God, just to control the board a little bit. I mean, I skipped over Elixir of Immortality, but you see it in so many of my decks now, I don't think it's worth mentioning. But, if we have to blow the board up, we can blow the board up quite happily. And at the end of the day, the knights can come back with Sidar, so it's all good. Protocol Knight, stun counter on something. We will have another knight in play when this comes in. Vantress Paladin, we will spend at least 3 blue mana to do this, so it enters as a 3/3 flying knight. Damnation, I could have played any of the others, Day of Judgment, so on and so forth. Can't remember another one off the top of my head, I know there's more. But at the end of the day, 1 black one, 1 white one, might as well have one of each. Invasion of Xerix turns into a really nice Angel Knight when we get it to flip, and it does give us a little bit of bounce for something that's annoying us. Thistledown Liege pumps all our creatures up quite happily and is a knight, along with Glenendra Liege. Again, it's still a knight and pumps all our creatures up, so that's quite cool. Alandra the Dusk Rose, completely forgot this was actually a vampire knight, so this went in very last minute in the deck when I was building it, and it's working out quite well. Door of Destinies gets all our knights really big, really quickly. Cavalier of Dawn, Elemental Knight. Didn't realise it was a knight, but it does blow up something. Yes, it gives our opponent a 3/3, but we'll cope with that. And if it does die, we've got one of these in the graveyard. We need to get it back. We can bring it back for this. It's fine. Aethersworn Adjudicator, destroy target creature or enchantment, so a little bit of repeated removal. 7 mana. 9 mana, no, 6 mana, 9 mana, I was right. Destroy something, untap it, destroy it again. It's doable with this deck. Reflections of Lajara, we obviously choose knights so we can get copies of the knights as they come in. Cavalier of the Gales gives us a nice big brainstorm effect when it enters the battlefield, and then when we die we get to scry 2. Patriarch's Bidding, another way of returning all the knights from our graveyard to play if we need to. Sir Conrad, that had to be here really, didn't it? It's one of the most ridiculous cards, even though it was uncommon back in the day in Throne of Eldraine. But creature card leaves your graveyard, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay then. Cavalier of Night, another elemental knight. We can sack a small token, hopefully, and blow something annoying up. And then when it dies, we get to return something from our graveyard that's mana value, or creature with mana value 3 or less to the battlefield. Probably Metallic Mimic at that stage, or maybe Paladin on Vec or the Exemplar, I would guess would be getting back. Nimrus, Owner's Tricksters, also here. When you cast your first spell during each of your opponent's turns, look at the top 2 cards of your library. It's not here for that. We haven't got that many instances. We've got Condemn, we've got Path to Exile. There's not that much we're going to be casting during our opponent's turn. But a Flying Flash 1/6 Knight in the air, that gets pumped. Yeah, okay, that's going to be hard for people to deal with. So, hence why it's here. Vanquisher's Banner to, obviously pump the knights up and draw cards when we cast knights. And then finally, at the end, Lena, Selfless Champion, is back. Obviously, it was in the Gandalf deck earlier in the week, but she's back here today because she's a knight, so we've got her in. Sorin, Grim Nemesis, makes a Vampire Knights if we can get that far. Hopefully we can by doing the +1/+1 stuff. Elandra and Azor are also in. They're also a knight in the same colours as the wonderful Sidar, and it gives another way to gain some life and get some black vampire knight creatures if we need to. Obelisk of Urd gives us a nice way of convoking out with all, hopefully, the tokens we're producing. And I did skip over one card there. I am aware of it. But, if you listen to the MTG podcast, where you can find the deck list, it's down in the description, you know that there was talk that Seth Incrim thought this was the greatest card ever in Flowing of Eldraine, and I had to include it if I'm playing a night deck, didn't I? It's completely pointless not to. So, Circle of Loyalties here. But that's it. This is the version of Sidar Jabbar of Seville that I will be playing on MTGO. This is going up on Thursday over here in the UK, so I'll be playing this deck probably tonight on the stream, so come and check out the stream. There's a link to that down below as well. And I hope you've enjoyed the Lord of the Rings deck techs this week I've done. I hope you've watched them all. If not, go back and watch them now. Hit the subscribe button. You'll see some more next week. Take care. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you on Twitch very soon. See ya.